In this presentation, we're going to introduce the MySQL or MySQL product to help you get familiar and get started with using the product and just understanding what it's all about. So we'll have a look at what is MySQL. We'll find out why you should choose or at least consider MySQL. And then if you do decide to implement the product, which editions might best suit your needs. So to get started, what is MySQL? Well, at its simplest form, it's an open source relational database management system. Now, you might be familiar with other RDBMS, as they're known, relational database management systems. Microsoft's SQL Server, for example, or Oracle. Those are both enterprise-level database systems, and MySQL does compete with those products. But as an open source database product, it means that it's freely developed and freely distributed. So anybody can get MySQL at effectively no cost. Open source means the code is available to anyone who wants it, and anyone who wants to contribute can also do so. So the product is continually evolving by a community of developers. It is, in fact, the world's leading open source database platform. There are other competitors, of course, as well as mentioned, but as far as just open source database platforms go, MySQL has been around a very long time, and it is, in fact, the world's leading open source platform. Now, with respect to open source, a bit of clarification here. Historically, open source has always meant that no particular company owns or maintains and manages the product. And that has always been the case with MySQL. But Oracle did, for all intents and purposes, acquire MySQL around 2009. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to purchase the product. There is one that you can purchase, and that's the Enterprise Edition. We'll see this coming up shortly. But you can still freely download MySQL. What Oracle provides is support and service for the Enterprise Edition now. So we'll discuss that shortly, but for all intents and purposes, you can still think of MySQL as being open source, but under the management of Oracle, if you will. So why should I choose MySQL? Well, its most attractive feature is probably the fact that it is free. There is absolutely no licensing costs associated with implementing MySQL. Anybody can download it, anyone can install it. There's no license fee, there's no subscriptions, nothing in terms of cost. So that's obviously very attractive to a lot of environments, and a lot of large environments are using MySQL and have been for a very long time. It's continually in development because of the fact that it is open source. Literally, if any developer decides that they want to try to improve upon the product, they can submit that to community forums and simply, hopefully, work it into the product. So you'll always find new versions that are continually being upgraded. It does contain many enterprise-level features such as high availability, clustering, backup, all of those options. So depending again on the edition that you choose, but it can support very large databases, very large numbers of connections, replicated environments. All of the features that you might expect to see in an enterprise class environment are supported by MySQL. And its performance, now, this is going to vary, obviously, depending on the hardware platform that you're running it on, but the performance is very high. It's a very lightweight database engine, and it performs as well, if not better, than the Microsoft and the Oracle supplied ones. Now, again, depending on what your platform is and how you implement it, obviously there can be tremendous variance here, but overall, the performance of MySQL is no less than any of the large purchase type subscription products that are available. If you want to get more information, what you can do is just go to the site you see there, mysql.com/y-MySQL, and you can find out all kinds of options as to why you might want to choose this particular product. If you need to determine what edition best suits your needs, you can also see that there are several editions available. The enterprise level one is provided by Oracle, And again, it's basically it's more so the support that's provided by Oracle, but you do have to purchase the Enterprise Edition. It does, however, have the most comprehensive set of advanced features, management tools, and of course the technical support that is provided by Oracle. The Standard Edition, high performance and scalable OLTP or online transaction processing applications, what we sort of think of as the regular, for lack of a better word, database type environment, wherein a lot of records are being both written to and read from the database. So Standard Edition is usually what you'll find implemented in most environments that aren't looking to pay for any kind of license or subscription. Cluster CGE, which is Carrier Grade Edition. This is relatively new. You see, meant to support the next generation of web, cloud, and communication services. So that's a fairly particular type of edition, depending on your needs, but that one certainly is becoming much more common. And then the Community Edition, which is continually again supported by that large and active community of open source developers. Now, again, if you need more information on the editions that are available, you can go to mysql.com/products. There are, in fact, a couple of additional ones that aren't listed here. They're known as the embedded versions or editions, which means that they are just the core database of an already built application. So you can certainly do that as well, and you can include the database as part of any given application if you are an independent software vendor, for example. So a number of editions, and again, if you're not certain which one might best suit your needs, then by all means check out mysql.com and you can get all kinds of information as to all of their product availabilities from their website.